A couple of years ago, this was just grass. Now it's where I actually want to spend my time. Let me show you what's growing in my garden. So why did I decide to turn my front yard into a garden? Well, a couple of years ago, somebody gave me my first garden bed and somebody else gave me some tomatoes, and I did not have a good harvest, but I absolutely loved it. And I knew that I needed more garden beds, more space to grow. So I thought about putting more beds in my backyard, but my backyard is really all for my dog. It's for her to play fetch, and she's a total menace in my garden bed back there. So I figured, why not use every square inch of my little suburban property? And so I put my garden here in my front yard, and it has been amazing. I realized that it was a barren place of weeds before, but now it grows food, herbs, flowers. It feeds me and my family, it feeds the pollinators, and it's just been such a joy and a blessing. We're gonna start with food, so let me show you my absolute favorite thing to grow. They're kind of starting to be on the dead end now, but I absolutely love my tomatoes, and I'm growing 3 different kinds. Let me show you. So the biggest tomato I'm growing are Cherokee purple tomatoes, and I absolutely treasure each and every one that I actually get to eat because the bugs here love them. And so I try to pick them as soon as I can, but it's almost always too late, especially now that it's getting really hot. So they're alive, they're growing, they're, doing their thing, but am I eating many of them? I don't think so. Next up are my Roma tomatoes, and these things have been a workhorse. I've gotten so many pounds of Roma tomatoes from just a few plants, and I'm using everything that I can to turn them into different tomato sauces for pasta, for pizza, whatever. The bugs don't seem to like them as much, and they've been just really, really good. I'll definitely be growing more Roma tomatoes. My absolute favorite tomatoes to grow right now are these Sun Gold tomatoes. They are small cherry-like tomatoes. They have really good flavor, and they're prolific. They're crazy. I pick so many of them, I can barely keep up. I throw them on salads, or I'll make a little salad with tomatoes and cucumbers from the garden and some herbs, some oil and vinegar. They're amazing. I am absolutely obsessed. People are offering me money for my tomatoes, which I give away for free anyhow. Next up on the food tour are cucumbers. So I'm pretty bad about picking them on time. Like this is probably too late. But sometimes I have a hard time keeping up. This cucumber plant has done really well. I thought it would be long gone because it's so hot now, but it gets some shade from this trellis that I'll show you. And so I think the trellis is helping to protect it, and so it's still been busting out cucumbers. They're delicious. They're so much better than the store. I've been really happy with them. Next up on the food tour are my banana peppers. I've got a mild and a hot, and they are just going absolutely crazy. There's so many of them. I'm gonna pick some today. And I just realized this branch fell off because it was just too heavy. So I'm gonna try to save some of these and make some pickled banana peppers. All right, I got a little bit of a late start on my summer crops, but I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. So I've got some baby datel peppers, jalapenos, and okra behind me, but no fruit yet. I also have to save them because the hyacinth bean is starting to strangle them. So the hyacinth bean is gonna have to go. Last up on the food tour are herbs. So behind me, this is a giant Thai basil plant, and the pollinators are absolutely obsessed, and so am I. I've also got green onions, thyme, there's some parsley that went to seed, and I've got a lot of basil tucked in different places. So the pollinators love a ton of my plants in here, but there are some that are really just for the pollinators. So this is blue salvia. They are obsessed. I see swarms of bees on this blue salvia. And also this thing, I can't remember what this is called. I accidentally bought it. I thought it was a salvia when it was little. But the bees are obsessed. There are so many bees. I also get a ton of bees and wasps and butterflies and all kinds of pollinators and bugs on the celosia behind me. They've been so fun because they come in so many different colors and different weird shapes, and I'm absolutely obsessed. Let's talk ground covers. This is probably what I get the most questions about. I grow 3 different types of ground covers or lawn alternatives here in my front yard, and I'll release another video with more details about that and how to start that. But this first one here is called Perennial Peanut, and it is a Florida-friendly, pollinator-friendly, drought-tolerant ground cover. You might see it in the medians, like if you're driving down a road, especially in Florida. And it's got these really beautiful yellow flowers that come out every morning. It's gorgeous. Right now, because I'm getting it established, I do have it hooked up to irrigation, but once it's established, it shouldn't need irrigation anymore because it's supposed to grow in Florida. It's supposed to be able to handle the droughts and the floods. It also doesn't need to be mowed. As you can see, it's not very tall. And so it's just a really great alternative to the grasses that require so much water and so much maintenance. The other 2 types of ground cover that I use are actually mixed together here behind me, and I have them growing in between all of my garden beds in this section. And so they are frog fruit, which is what is the majority of this, and then also there's some sunshine mimosa, also known as shy plant or lots of other different names for it. But I am obsessed, highly recommend frog fruit if you live in Florida. I don't water this. I don't water this at all. It established so quickly. It's so green and lush. I even walk through here, like through this path behind me all the time, and it gets a little smushed down, but it still looks great. It looks green, no problem. We mow it maybe 2 or 3 times a year if it starts getting like too tall. It's absolutely amazing. I love frog fruit, big fan. And the other one is Sunshine Mimosa. It doesn't fill in quite as well. I'll show you a close-up of it. But it has these really cute pink flowers, and the pollinators love them, and they look like little lollipops. They're so cute. So I like the mix of the 2. The frog fruit keeps the weeds down, and the Sunshine Mimosa just adds a little pop of color. And finally, let's talk about this giant trellis behind me. So we put together this trellis this year to replace a really rinky-dink one we had the year before. This one is made out of cattle panel, and it's been really sturdy. We've had some really windy storms, and it's held up great. So what's growing on here right now is called hyacinth bean, and it's supposed to produce these really pretty purple flowers and these beans that you can eat if you process them right. This thing has been here for like 6 months and it hasn't produced any flowers, and I don't know what happened. But I have really enjoyed it anyhow. It's created a lot of shade in this area, and it's just, I love the way the vines move around. It's very whimsical, and I like to sit under there. It's cooler, and it just creates a really nice environment, and gives some shade to some of my other plants that need it. I will be taking it down soon though, because it's starting to just grab and strangle all of my other plants in the surrounding beds, and I need that trellis to grow my loofahs to make my sponges later this year. If you were wondering where Luna's favorite spot in the garden is, it's wherever I am. She loves to come out here and just lay on the frog fruit and just cuddle, especially under the shade of the trellis. She just loves it out here. You cuddles. My favorite part about the garden is that it's always changing.